Straight ahead on 12 News, a Maple Grove neighborhood's electric jolt. We'll size up the damage from the morning's severe weather. Plus, a big thank you for a much-needed renovation in Crystal.
I'm just so very grateful for everything that they did.
But first, how much do you pay for rent? A new report compares rent among Twin Cities suburbs. 12 News starts right now. Hello and thanks for joining us. A new report shows rental prices are on the rise.
In fact, rents are rising more quickly in Minneapolis and surrounding suburbs compared to the national average. And as Delane Cleveland reports, the suburb with the highest rent is right here in the Northwest Metro.
The city of Plymouth has a plethora of amenities, everything from parks to shopping to the educational reputation of the Wayzata School District. But according to a report from apartmentlist.com, if you want to rent an apartment here, it'll cost you. The report found that Plymouth is the most expensive of the Twin Cities suburbs. A one-bedroom apartment costs $1,140, whereas a two-bedroom costs $1,330 on average.
We've seen rent go up and much faster than renter incomes now for well over a decade.
Chip Halbach is executive director of the Minnesota Housing Partnership. He says rent is high not only in Plymouth, but across the Twin Cities.
And there's just a variety of reasons. There's more renters out there that are driving demand. At the same time, the supply isn't keeping up with that demand.
Vacancy rates across the metro are right around 3%. And even with new developments in the works, such as the Plymouth Flats near Highways 169 and 55, renters looking for more affordable options won't see the situation improving much.
The market's really able to respond, but only at the high end. So that will be that continued push for more and more rental housing without the supply, except at the high end to keep up with that push.
Halbach says the average rent across the metro area is in the $1,000 a month range. To afford that, your income should be about $40,000 a year.
So there's a lot of people out there that don't have that income, and that's part of the problem we're facing.
However, he did say there is some positive news coming from local governments.
So there's more city councils, county boards, et cetera, saying, yeah, we should do something about that and make sure that we are providing the range of housing.
In Plymouth, Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
While Plymouth has the highest average rent among suburbs, you'll find the lowest rent in Brooklyn Park. The median price for a two-bedroom apartment there is $920.
A Maple Grove home avoided damage, but trees in the backyard took a hit from Monday morning's rain and lightning storm. Lightning sheared the bark off this tree at a home in the 6700 block of Fountain Lane North. The homeowners called 911 when they smelled smoke inside their home. It turns out lightning sent electrical charges into their home through underground wiring used for their invisible dog fence. It's not uncommon for that to cause a fire at the power source.
If you are able to, it would be probably good to put some protective equipment on that so that it protects from a lightning strike or the voltage surge like that, so it shuts it off so it protects your house.
Several trees in this Maple Grove neighborhood were apparently hit by the same lightning bolt. In Brooklyn Park, a power pole hung precariously over West Broadway Monday afternoon. The road was closed between Candlewood Drive and North Hennepin Community College. A combination of wet soil and high winds may have pushed the pole over. Nobody was hurt.
The stormy weather on Saturday morning canceled the opening of the New Hope Farmers Market. The New Hope Market is scheduled to return this coming Saturday. A reminder, there is a new location this year. The New Hope Market is now located at St. Joseph's Church at the corner of Boone and 36th Avenues.
A new report from the Met Council says more poor people are living in the suburbs than in the central cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul. Suburban poverty grew 128% between 2000 and 2013, according to the report. That follows a national trend. One reason is immigration. Immigrants used to move into central cities, but now more are moving directly into the suburbs. The report says more jobs were created in the suburbs, but many of them are lower paying.
Accessing Interstate Highway 494 will get a bit more difficult. The entrance and exit ramps for southbound 494 at Rockford Road closed today and will remain closed through late July. Drivers who need to access southbound 494 from Rockford Road will be detoured to Northwest Boulevard and then to Highway 55. A Crystal veteran served more than a decade in the military and has lasting injuries because of it.
So when her home needed some repairs, several local groups stepped up to help. Cassie Bonstrom has more.
It looks as though Carla Herling is moving into a new house.
That's going in the blue bedroom.
But actually, she's lived here for 15 years.
It's going next too.
She's simply moving her stuff back in after getting a home renovation, all for free.
It's like I won the lottery.
Carla served in the Army for more than a decade. She deployed several times overseas and sustained permanent injuries.
All of a sudden, I wasn't on top of the tank anymore. I'm used to pain every day, every day.
She now struggles to get around and wears braces to help relieve the knee pain.
If I didn't have these on, it would feel like I was walking on broken glass, nails, and gravel. That'll go in my bedroom.
Carla knew she couldn't tackle any home projects herself, so she reached out for help. The Beyond the Yellow Ribbon Quad Communities Group is just one organization that stepped up.
Patriot Outreach and Home Depot came in and did some remodeling for her, and now we're putting everything back in place.
John Ziba says he and his volunteers enjoy helping veterans in need. It's often the small projects that make the biggest difference.
The steps were literally crumbling to dust. So for about 7 years, I wasn't able to use the steps. So they've now replaced the steps with new steps, and now I can use my front door.
When things come up that they need a little extra money or need a little bit of extra work, that's what we do. We kind of fill in the gaps.
Together, the groups made repairs Carla never thought she'd see.
Oh, you guys are so sweet.
John hopes the repairs offer Carla at least some relief and show other veterans that their home could be next.
We're there. We're willing to help, and we're always looking for somebody that needs a little assistance.
The Beyond the Yellow Ribbon Quad Communities have a Facebook page where you can get in touch with them, and we will have more information on our website. It's 12.tv. Coming up, a 3-month checkup on the new Carmax location in Brooklyn Park. Find out which used cars are the top sellers.
Then later in sports, highlights from the high school all-star baseball series.
But first, the forecast settles down on Tuesday. Temperatures climb back up into the 80s.
A big announcement today by Golden Valley-based General Mills. The food giant says it will remove all artificial colors and flavorings from its cereals by the end of the year. The first cereals to experience a change will include Trix and Cocoa Puffs. General Mills will resort to spices and fruit and vegetable juices to give their cereals their color. It's been just over 3 months since used car giant Carmax opened up its first store in Minnesota.
In this week's Business Matters, we check in with the Brooklyn Park business to find out which cars are the top sellers.
Most customers that walk through the door have never been to a Carmax location before, being this is their first one in Minnesota.
With 150 stores nationwide, Carmax has sold more than 500,000 cars over the past year. Still, at its new Brooklyn Park store, there's a learning curve.
So most customers, unless they're transfers to Minnesota, have never heard of CarMax.
The Richmond, Virginia-based business sticks to a no-haggle philosophy. The price on the sticker is firm, and the cars on the lot are no older than 10 years.
For us, we've done numerous research with customers, and customers really appreciate that. They want to see the best price that you can offer them on the window sticker.
Carmax recently released its top-selling vehicles for 2015, and once again, driving into the #1 spot is the Nissan Altima.
One, it's a 4-door vehicle, so it's going to suit most families that are out there. Second piece, it is fuel efficient.
Fuel efficiency scores big, with the Chevy Malibu coming in at the #2 spot.
This is another one that gets more than 25 miles to the gallon. It's another one that you can get a lot of great features for the price of the vehicle.
Rounding out the top 5 best-selling used cars, the Honda Accord at the #3 spot, the Toyota Camry driving into the 4th spot, and the Honda Civic at #5.
And if you look at our top performers, usually it's those vehicles that are over 25 miles to the gallon.
First quarter sales are up 9% nationally for the country's largest used car retailer, which is fueling growth in the form of new store locations.
So it is a growing company. We're opening 1 to 2 stores a month. nationwide.
They're still hiring at the Brooklyn Park location. There's currently 102 employees, and that number is expected to grow when Carmax opens its second location in Maplewood in September.
We're still hiring sales consultants. We're still hiring people for our operations team. So we continue to grow as a company.
Carmax's average selling price nationwide for a used car is about $19,800. Coming up, a surprise guest drops by the Crystal Airport.
But first, action from the big Dudley Classic softball tournament in Brooklyn Center. John Jacobson is in next with sports. John Jacobson with sports, and the senior class gets to show what they can do between the stripes, right? In the baseball diamond.
One last time as prep players before they head on to college, wherever they may be doing next year. It is a chance to see many of the top senior prep baseball players from the class of 2015, with players from small towns going head-to-head with players from the Twin Cities. The 41st annual Play Ball Minnesota All-Star Series featured 4 local players on the Metro West team. Metro West faced the North All-Stars in a 9-inning game on day 1. West strikes early on a double steal. Trentino Grace's Ben Bazinga races home from third. The Metro West gets 3 in the top of the first. Meanwhile, Jake Irvin of Bloomington Jefferson is dominant on the hill. He works 2 perfect innings, striking out 5 of 6 batters. In the second inning, Robbie Pelkert of Hopkins with a fly ball to deep right. Deep enough to score Tyler Berg with a run, and it's 4-0 Metro West. Pitcher Jordan Kuzny of Armstrong is not as overpowering as Irvin for Metro West, but he works 3 scoreless innings, helped by a pair of double plays like this one. It stays that way 4-0 until the 7th when Mazenga singles home Class A Player of the Year, Ben Suits of Heritage Christian Academy. Metro West wins 10-0. They went 2-1 in the tournament, losing only to champion South. The weather was mostly cooperative over the weekend for the 33rd annual Dudley Budweiser Classic Softball Tournament. All season, a Minnesota-based team featuring some local players from the area deep into the winner's bracket as they faced Combat from Washington State. Casey Rogowski of Combat with a first inning 2-run homer, putting them ahead 3-0. Second inning, and Chris Greiner drives one deep and out. This one's a grand slam as Combat goes ahead 15-0 after 2. But all season comes back in the 4th. Jesse Welter with a 2-run homer near the scoreboard and left to make it 21-9. Later in the 4th, it's Kevin Dowling with a solid single to center that skips past the center fielder to score a run, and it's 21-13, but Combat holds on to win 26-14. Now that put Combat in the winner's bracket final Saturday against Smash It Sports from New York State, and Ryan Wegman blasts a grand slam in the bottom of the second inning, put Smash It Sports ahead 10-3. Combat would come back and take a lead on a 2-run homer by Greinert to make it 11-10, but Smash It would come back and win it 32-30, scoring 13 of the game's final 18 runs. But Resmondo's specialty of Florida, which lost early in the tourney to all season, came back through the loser's bracket and then beat Smash It Sports twice on Sunday morning to win the title. It's the 6th straight championship for Resmondo. The state high school clay target tournament officially put a wrap on the 2014-2015 school year on Saturday. Lakeville South wins a tiebreaker over Fairmont for the top spot in the team competition at 464. Monticello is third, followed by Buffalo, St. Michael, Albertville, and Hopkins. Andrew Rhodes of Wayzata placed fourth in the individual competition, scoring a 99 out of 100. With our short golf season here in Minnesota, summer is a busy time for charity golf tournaments. The 8th annual Greg Jennings Celebrity Golf Classic teed off today at Rush Creek in Maple Grove. Jennings was a Vikings wide receiver for 2 seasons who signed as a free agent in the offseason with the Miami Dolphins. Jennings says, though his employer is now in Florida, he hopes to keep this tournament at Rush Creek.
Yeah, that's the game plan. This is home. My wife and I wanted to make sure, because of, you know, the releasing from the Vikings, that the community knew that it's greater than football. Like, football is great, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't change who we are and what we're trying to do throughout the community and within the community.
Both current and former teammates of Jennings came out today for the tournament and celebrity shootout, like Vikings wide receivers Charles Johnson there and Adam Thielen as well. Plus Dolphins tackle Billy Turner, who's from Mounds View. Money raised here today goes to support youth help by the Greg Jennings Foundation.
For us, it's about empowering youth through education. Sometimes that takes the financial backing so that they can have the things, the supplies that they need, the tools that will allow them to achieve and attain their goals.
Greg does a great job in the community and getting people from the area that are supporting his foundation, and he gives back to the community as well. So it's a good event, and I'm excited to be out here. It's my second year doing this, and it's just nice to be able to support Greg.
Jennings signed a 2-year contract with the Dolphins in April after spending the first 9 years of his career with the Packers and then the Vikings. Would like to keep it at Rush Creek if he can going forward. So a nice turnout, and then the weather after being stormy early in the morning turned out all right.
That's great. It's nice keeping it here. Thanks, John. Still ahead, the roar from above in Crystal.
Plus, a look at some of the folks along the Tater Daze parade. We'll show you when we come back. That's the rumble of 4 T-6 Warbirds over the Crystal Airport open house on Sunday. The planes were used to train pilots in World War II and also saw service in Korea and Vietnam. They were among the historic attractions at the airport's annual open house. One surprise guest was a B-25 bomber known as Lady Luck. The plane was returning to its home at the Anoka County Airport from an air show when we are told the crew decided to land at Crystal for the pancake breakfast. Organizers say the turnout was as large as they've seen in 22 years. Brooklyn Park's Tater Daze celebration has wrapped up, but the hunt for the golden spud continues.
Yeah, that is right. Here is clue number 5. What is it you've lost, old friend? Asked Chinook. The golden spud is an heirloom, you see. Been in the family for hundreds of years, so its return is important to me. That is clue number 5. Remember, no digging or climbing is needed to find the golden spud. Anyone who finds it gets the $300 prize. So Tater Days may be over, but that prize is still out there.
Yeah, the parade is also in the books, and as we say goodbye, here's a look at some of the people we met along the way. We'll see you tomorrow.